Thank you, sirs, that you all have given the advantages of the digital learning in the recent trends of education. We understand that it's quite good, that quite informative things which have been presented here. But before that, I would like to put up certain challenges, because we are facing certain challenges in this regard. Basically, the first one being, it's quite costly affair. We cannot introduce these aspects all over the country, even in the villages also. How can we face this challenge? Because certain level only, certain schools having investment, have a certain source of income, they only can come forward to invest, to install these digital learning systems. That is first aspect. And what about other schools of the country? That one point. The second one is, when we've been accustomed to this digital learning system, it's really making the adverse effect on the traditional learning, sir. Because we are very much concerned for, nowadays we can see that cyber cafes have been completely filled up, and traditional libraries are quite emptied. Very less people are reading the books. Book reading has come down almost horribly. It's really a major concern for that. And what happens that it goes on increasing like that. That's the first point. And people have come down to read the newspapers. But no time is there to read the newspapers. No time is there to go through the books. So this is second point. And where it goes. And there is also, I also understand that in Hindi, kuch paane ke liye kuch khona padega. So shall we come to the conclusion that to this point only? And how can we match this, and how can we reduce this imbalance? What is the imbalance is there? How can we reduce it? Otherwise, the time comes that traditional learning or book reading, everything will be exhausted. Please kindly enlighten us. What are the solutions in this regard? Because recently one of my friends, quite young, is a computer software engineer. Right from morning till evening, he has been accustomed to that computer. When he is coming to the first flat and second flat, by climbing up the stairs, he has slipped up like anything. Has fallen down also. So, because of his being accustomed to this computer system and all these things. So that's why at this juncture, kindly enlighten us that some solutions are there to make this imbalance into balance.
Of cellular phones in India. When they were introduced maybe just a little over 10 years ago, yes, they were costly. But right now, I think we have about 500 million users of cellular phones. Anybody and everybody, actually almost everybody has got a cell phone. There's no reason to believe that the same thing won't happen in the ICT technology for education as well. And I understand Mr. Khuntia this morning he made a remark around that, and I wasn't there in that session, but perhaps you can address that.
Can I?
Yeah, there is a second question also there, no? Traditional end. All this traditional or modern, what for you are reading? Reading for knowing, reading for knowledge. If the modern concept is giving you knowledge, enriching you in the fastest way, let us also put the traditional knowledge in the museum. Because thing is that when learning is happening, learning is taking place, knowledge is increasing, enhancing, then it is modern way is giving in the fastest way, then let us adopt it. That is what we want, no? Now we require it. So, and reading the books, reading the newspaper. Nowadays, why reading the books? The magazines are there. Now text to speech and speech to text are available. The newspaper, put it and the computer will read for you and listen it. News, the lively listening. So that's why this digital way of reading newspaper also helpful, no? Because we have to gain lot of knowledge in a limited time. So it's what the digital revolution. This is what my view on this.
Reading skills are not disappear. Children read a lot because of computers, okay? But then it is not our concern. My concern is my 20. Why should I worry about the school which cannot afford? They have to do themselves. So you cannot say all cannot afford this means affordability comes to their level. Now as a school, head of the school, I say that we have to go with this. Otherwise, we are not preparing children for the global society, community. So we have to think of that. What is the end of education? It is we are preparing them for the innovative problem solvers. So to do that, I have to do 1, 2, 3. So I will not think whether it is affordable for my neighborhood school or not, because I do not know and I need not have to worry. And for that matter, government school and all, it is for the government to decide. It is for the government to decide. And they have, like KVs, very nicely said that I remember one of the years, in the month of March, they were flooded with computers, but then they did not have infrastructure, so many things. These things happen. That is the government sector is doing. So we need not have to worry for all of them. But we have to see that my clientele is this. This is the expectation of our clients. Then I have to see that I give that. So that should be our worry. And we are today convinced that we have to make our children as thinking beings. The reading habit. The reading habit has to be inculcated in our children right from the birth. That is the parents' responsibility. And the schools should add on to that. The first education starts from home. Then we can keep them away from the electronic media. But otherwise, if we don't do, we cannot complain that children are not taking into reading. If they once get the taste of reading, you can't stop children at all from reading. So that we have to inculcate right from childhood.
Actually, I would like to